talk about cold stratification, and we're going to get these out of their bags and into little pots. They've been in the fridge for the past couple of months. We'll take them apart and get them into little pots and see if we can get them to sprout. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between basically spruce trees and then tomato plants. You can see tomato plants in a pot right behind me, and they're quite large, and I'll show you the difference between those and some spruce that I've planted at the same time. So here you can see there's three spruce, whatever, seedlings in this pot. The one on the right's actually given up, it looks like. These have been in for about 2.5 months, and they've stopped growing. They've stopped adding more stems or what have you. About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But then these tomato plants, which are obviously in a bigger pot, they were in the smaller pot, and then I added them to this big pot about 4 weeks ago, and they continue to grow, but they're pretty maxed out. They've been maxed out for the past couple of weeks as well. But you can see that the tomatoes, however they're designed, I mean, they're different plants than obviously spruce trees, but they need to get into the ground, so they need to be split so that their roots can spread out and get full sun that isn't, filtered by this glass window. I do have lighting for them, and they're put on a timer, about 9 hours a day. They also have gotten sun from the window. But that's the next plan here. After about a week from now, I will get all this stuff into the ground. There's some peppers. Those have been maxed out for a while. There's some other things like dill, and there's some just standard peppers, sweet peppers. I have a little bit of parsley, and then here's 3 more plants that I bought from the local county Soil and Water Conservation. I don't know if it's gonna focus. It's sweet Joe pieweed. It gets about 6 foot tall, and I'll start from that little guy right there. I mentioned scarification real quick. For these spruce seeds, I tried. I wish I'd been a little bit more scientific about it, but scarification is a process where you take the seed. It has, the outer part of the seed is harder, so to mimic natural processes like the seed fall out on the ground, animals walk on it, wind, water hitting it, slowly break down the outer layer of the seed, and then it can sprout. What I did was, they're pretty soft. I actually just used my nails and broke through a couple of the outer shells and then planted them, and then I also rubbed them on sandpaper, which actually destroyed the seeds even more. So I don't know which one was more effective, but just knowing the overall, the need to break down that outer shell kind of gave me guidance. And I have 6 that sprouted out of possibly 12 seeds. So, and I had them mixed up depending on which way, if I use sandpaper or if I just use my fingers. So half of them took, and I'm pretty proud with that. Just here we are back in my kitchen. I got all my dirt and my seeds in little potting cups. And so here's my dirt. I guess I got a shadow in there. Like it's potting mix, potting soil, something like that. I have to say it's probably potting soil. Usually it seems like in the potting mixes they have more additives. There's the white chunks of whatever it is. I don't know what the makeup is of all of it, but it'll grow stuff, at least for a short amount of time, until they sprout, and I can get them into the ground. I have a couple of different potters. These are just the ones where you can start the seed and then just dunk it in the ground. I'm not too sure how fast these actually break down, so when I do plant them, I'll just cut slits into them right before I put them in the ground. And then just regular for, at a dollar store, you get however many that is, 8, 10, something like that, of little potters. And I have the drain holes in the bottom. And then I've already opened up this napkin. Here's what it looks like before. Here I have strawberries, a whole bunch of seeds, and there'd be just about as many seeds. Let's see, about 10 there, about 15 there. About the same amount of seeds in each packet. And I just basically wetted the tissue down, set the seeds out, and then folded it, just fold it over and over again. Put it in there, then put it in the bottom of my fridge under one of the drawers. And that's the date when I did it. 20 February of 21. I think the package recommended 3 months, but it's a rainy day, so I can't be outside, so I'm going to be planting these seeds. Probably put about, split the total into fifth for each plant, and I'll put them maybe a sixth, and then I can put 3 in each chunk of 3 into 3 of these, and then 3 of these until I run out of cups. And then we'll mark them and get them up into the other room where you saw the tomato plants and all the other ones. See if we can get them to sprout. I wanted to show you the different seeds that I had cold stratifying in the fridge. There's raspberries. That's what's on the tissue there. Strawberries, even though I have 2 strawberry plants that are already flowering outside that I've been picking the flowers off of. I have a whole bunch of those seeds. And then we have apple. Don't know what kind of apple they are, but edible, I would assume. And we have blueberry. I do have 2 different types of blueberry plants that I'd bought. There's a blue corp and then an Urla blue. The Urla blue is already leafing out, and the other one, of course, is still, it's kind of greening up, and you can see that it's coming, it's growing. But I bought those as bare leaf plants, or bare root plants, I should say, and I planted those outside last fall. So I'd like to see if I can get some of these started and then planted sometime throughout the year. And then we also have blackberry. So I'll just kind of do a couple videos while I'm just putting these seeds in to see, how many seeds I put in and how much dirt and all that. And, alright, well, there's one done of the raspberries. Just simply lick the finger, pick them up, drop them in. I put about 8 in this one, just kind of go around, and then a couple in the center. I just sprinkle a little dirt over. I will do that with 1 or 2 more. Here I am, I'm just about done, but I got the blueberries, and I didn't realize how small the seeds were. For this cup, ended up kind of folding it down until all the seeds went into the crack, and you still see there's all sorts of seeds left. But maybe a third of all these seeds got into the crack, and I just basically just funneled it into here and then added the dirt. I think I'm going to use one of these larger pots, and I think I'm just going to fold this up. I'll probably use 2 pots. I'll just fold this and maybe just tear off little chunks and just like square it off and then set it on top of the dirt, because I'm not able to even like pick them up or anything like that. So this will be laid out flat on the dirt. And then here we are back. We got all of our pots. One of the things that was interesting was the apple seeds had pretty much all sprouted. So I put pretty much all the sprouted ones in one and labeled it bad seeds, and the other one still had some seeds. That's kind of unfortunate, but we planted them anyways. And the soil I was using was potting soil. It had, there was dirt in there, but there's also like some bits of plastic and some metal wire and stuff like that. So that's what you get. I don't currently, all my compost is just finishing up right now, and I just don't have the supplies, so I bought some of that. But as you can see, that same stuff has worked pretty well for everything else. So the plants just need something to move their roots around in, and the sun to. Here is everything with the lights on. Got that multi-LED up top, and then these total of 4 lights. These are adjustable. You can do whatever you want. You can change the setting. You can see in the reflection that's all the lights on. And that's a mixture, so it's supposed to be the full spectrum. It's like the blue light. There's the white light. Scientifically speaking, each different type of light is, meant to spur different type of growth. So for like leaves, you want blue light or whatever it is. I'm not even gonna say what they're for, but I just use the full spectrum. And also have it in this window. It's on the east side of my house, so it does get some sun. And only the last month hasn't really gotten any, any potent sun really. We're just starting May right now, so. But as you can see, you got way too much cabbage in one little pot. And I've got all my blackberries and raspberries and apples, strawberries, raspberries, and my blueberries. And then you can see bad seeds. Well, I guess they were good seeds, really. But yeah, we're going to water them in real quick. I just use one of these little spouts. If you can see, it's got a whole bunch of holes in it. The soil, the dirt, whatever, was pretty moist, so I'm not going to do anything too crazy. Just give them a little bit of water. I typically water, well, I come in here every morning. These lights on the right are on a timer, so around 8 o'clock they turn on, and they're on the second setting, so they stay on for 12 hours. And I just check the soil to see if it's still moist. I don't check the surface so much, but I'll dig down and see how moist it is further down. And if it's not moist, I just put some water on it. One note on these containers, so you want holes. This pot does not have holes, but it's so big compared to what the plants I'd put in there. Definitely should have put holes in the bottom and maybe some on the sides. I actually thought about moving this whole thing, just putting it outside, but there's so many plants in there. They're not going to be able to reach their full potential. And these, I'd mentioned in an earlier video, this style, here, let me get this out here. We can get it to, so this has parsley, and it's kind of grown some parsley, but this rib, you can see there's 3 different levels. So that top level drains out the water, and really most of that, even if the top is wet, you can count on the rest of the dirt will be dry because it drains out way too soon. So I wouldn't recommend using these. This actually came from an herb growing kit that I'd bought, and wasn't too pleased with it, but there was a couple of things I could have done better, so I won't leave a bad review. But those cups themselves drain way too close to the seed surface or the soil surface. So, thanks again for watching. I'm going to finish just watering these in. As you can see outside, it's very rainy. Hopefully next time we'll do a walk around. We can see how well my bushes are doing and all the 30 plants that I bought and put in the ground just the last week, and see all the flowers that I bought and different plants that I bought from the local county, the Soil and Water Conservation District. They sold me 20 pine trees and I think 15, 20 other bushes, and we'll take a look around that. But for now, thanks again for watching.